This is the Shotgun City Sheriff, the law himself, Clayton Clark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Kennedy, a.k.a. Mr. Anderson.
This is the young Titan, Aaron Atlas.
Hey, this is Matt Brannigan.
This is the war-bound hellhound, Bo Sword.
This is your favorite drunken pro wrestler, a.k.a. the Bud Light Brawler, Dalton Davis.
This is Lizzie Six.
This is Jake Something.
And this is the jaw-jacking, back-cracking, God created all men equal, and then he made me the sequel, Rohit Raju, and you are listening to the Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast. Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast.
Spot Show Podcast, hell yeah.
The Spot Show Podcast.
The Spot Show Podcast? Yeah, that's right, I stuttered. Shut up.
Remember a few years ago whenever people were just dressing up as clowns and hanging out on street corners?
Absolutely.
What was the reason for that? Did they ever, was it like, because I know the big rumor.
Somebody did it as a TikTok and it just went viral and blew up, so everyone wanted to jump in.
Well, there were all these different theories about it. It was like, oh, this is viral marketing for the new It. And then there was
nothing to do with it.
Well, I know, but like that was the prevailing theory.
Yeah. And then like the insane labs try to take credit for it. The pre-workout shit that focuses on like horror and shit.
Oh, okay.
Like no one knew exactly where it came from or why. It just became like a popular trend until people started getting fucked up.
Okay, because I was thinking about it today, literally just randomly. Like I was just driving and I don't even know like what really fully hit me about it, but I was just like, man, remember whenever clowns would just be posted up? And I was like, you know, I kind of wish that I would have seen a clown. Was there ever any here local?
I have no idea, but I've never seen one. I've never seen one in person.
Because I know, like, you were talking about people. Like
younger me, I would have been out there doing that shit.
Well, of course, and that was going to be the second part of that question. But so we're going to kind of do the first, and then we get into the second one. That is absolutely something that I could see you doing. Like, not even younger you, but I would honestly, like, if the mood hit you just right, I could see you on a Saturday night hitting me up, being like, "Hey, Dickie, we're going to go stand on the corner. We're going to dress up."
Could you imagine me dressed like a clown with my fake leg off and just standing on one foot?
Like holding the leg?
I'm on my last leg.
No, you take it like the little hobo gimmick with the stick.
Yeah.
And you like hang a bag over it.
Hang a fanny pack. Keep the worker in me and
I'm on
showing.
my last.
Dude, scarier than fucking clowns. Could you imagine if workers just went out and stood on the street corners in their gear, bitching and moaning about their egos?
Just Colby Jack standing there. Moo. 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 I often do wonder, like, what it would be like to go in full gimmick. Like, what people would think. I mean, a lot of guys probably wouldn't be able to fully do it because, I mean, it's like, they're just in their trunks. But I mean, Jared Savage got a ton of looks whenever we did that street festival that one time.
I don't know what was scarier, Jared Savage just walking around in the general public or Jared Savage eating a snow cone in the general public.
Which they kind of go together. But my question was, it wasn't even a question, it was just going to be more of a statement, but you brought it up of like, yeah, that's what stopped the clowns, is because people were like, beating the fuck out of them.
And the clowns were getting shot at and shit.
But on the other side of it, it was also like some people took it a little bit too crazy and like the clowns were like attacking people.
Yeah.
So it went both ways. But so it's one of those, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first?
COVID. I think COVID started it all. People just needed to get out and get some entertainment in their lives.
Oh, dude, no, this was way before COVID.
Was it before COVID?
Oh my God, dude. This was
You should Google that right now.
You have no sense of time.
I don't have any sense of time.
I don't think that you have.
I could have swore it got really big during COVID.
No, I'm going to clown sightings. Clown sightings 2016. 2016. Oh, there's literally just a Wikipedia about this.
Is there really?
Yeah, a full Wikipedia. The 2016 clown sightings were reports of people disguised as evil clowns, which is not true because they were just clowns, in contagious, okay.
Words.
Sorry. It's the word erroneous. I'd never seen the word erroneous written out, so I thought it was it's something else. In erroneous settings, I thought it was congested at first, but it's not. In erroneous settings, such as near forests and schools. The incidents were reported in the United States, Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, and subsequently other countries and territories starting in August of 26. The sightings were first reported in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
It was Mr. Anderson, damn it.
It was Kennedy just standing
What
there.
an asshole.
And what turned out to be a marketing stunt for a horror. So the Wikipedia page is saying that it was a marketing stunt.
Which horror film, though?
I don't know. I'll look to the source. The phenomenon later spread to many other cities in the Midwest. By mid-October of 2016, clown sightings and attacks had been reported in nearly all U.S. states, 9 out of 13 provinces and territories in Canada and 18 other countries.
Let's bring it back.
Okay, so the one in Green Bay was a marketing ploy. But for what? I don't know. Oh, Gags the Clown, whatever that means. Does that sound familiar to you at all?
No.
Doesn't mean anything to you?
The marketing sucked on that one then.
Yeah. Man, I don't know. Just something like, I know that that's a weird thought to have in the middle of winter because there's nothing about.
Did you see clowns like in the middle of a snowstorm setting up a campfire on the side of the road? Like, that falls into winter.
Yeah, by the way, that was not the word erroneous. I don't know what this word is. Let me Google this word because now it's really going to bother me. What is this word? Okay. Say the word. What?
Incongruous.
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 What the hell does that mean?
Incongruous. I've heard the word in harmony, not in harmony or keeping with the surroundings or other aspects of something.
So out of place.
So out of place. Spell incongruous. You spell it.
E-N.
You're already wrong.
I-N. C-R. I give up.
We're not even
Incongruous.
Incongruous. By the way, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Spot Show Podcast, an incongruous podcast. We're an independent wrestling podcast with a lot of pit stops along the way, not just a few. We're just going to ramble about clowns for a little bit.
The word of the day,
brother.
baby.
I, of course, am one of your hosts, the Carson Daly of professional wrestling, Dickie Wabash. That lovely man over there is the one-legged wonder, Michael Madrox, and we are coming off of a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, a couple wonderful events took place. You know, we had Initiate took place. We had Hybrid Takeover 3, and then we had War Games. It's been a fun time.
Busy week.
It's been very busy. It's been super busy. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty of all of it. Get into a little bit of the Thanksgiving holiday. Get into some of that stuff, whatever. But instead, we're gonna talk about clowns. I guess
I'm okay with this, man.
So,
everyone talks about the holidays on their holiday podcast episodes, but clowns, that's completely different.
Well, we never said that this was specifically a holiday podcast. It's just that this is where we can just come on here and kind of talk about whatever we want to any now and then. You know what I mean? And I don't know what had me thinking about it, but I was just driving today and I was like, what better person to talk to about the clown sightings than Michael Madrox? Because I feel like that you were a big fan of that when it was happening.
I honestly didn't give a shit.
You surprise me because like the things that I think you would like, you absolutely
hate
not.
And don't even care. And the things you don't think I care about, like a talk boy, I'm fucking in love with.
You love to see it. But yeah, just a reminder, this is, of course, the Spot Show Podcast. Every other week, Michael Madrox and I sit down and we talk about the wacky world of wrestling and clowns. If you like what we're doing here, which why wouldn't you? You can go on over to patreon.com, back us at the $5 and above tier, and you're going to get this show early and ad-free. And you're also going to get the exclusive post-show paid show exclusively on the Patreon. And we also got some plug skis and upcoming dates for you. No upcoming dates right now.
Nope.
This is
holiday
the off
break,
season.
baby.
This is the holiday break. This is the off season. I don't even want to think about wrestling until January when we go back First show of the year for us is going to be Elite Pro Wrestling. Don't even remember the date right now. 18th, yes, because I messed it up on
yes,
it. On
that's the only way I remember.
I messed it up on Initiate. I thought it was the 16th, but it is the 18th. Yeah. Elite Pro Wrestling Breach is the name of the show. I was misinformed. It is not E-Day. They have changed the name of the event. It is called Breach. MadBash-wise, Avery Hertz is going to be challenging for the MadBash Wrestling Championship against Colby Jack.
The investment versus the cow, man.
Yeah, and, invest in cows.
What kind of cow we getting into this show, though?
I talked to Colby about that. He's
you?
trying to leave that, that whole mad cow thing. I hope by me saying it, I hope I didn't trigger him by saying it. But plug skis for you. Listen, we got Initiate. It's out. Go check that out on the Facebook and on the YouTube. That's going to tell you everything that we got coming down the pipeline. For those of you on Patreon, we've got some content up there for you. 2 episodes of Untitled Wrestling Commentary Show that you can check out on the Patreon. Of course, the Patreon's not the only way to support us, though.
Not at all, man.
There's free ways. Go to MadBashStudios.com. You'll find links to all your favorite podcasting platforms. Go there, leave us a 5-star written review, and we very much appreciate that. And, of course, this episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling and Venom Energy, but you're going to hear a little bit more about them later.
Speaking of Venom.
Okay.
What if the clowns had snakes?
Snakes and clowns?
Snakes and clowns.
Get these motherfucking snakes out of my motherfucking clowns.
Yeah, dude.
There was a video.
See, I feel like we're on the way to writing a very horrible B-rated horror movie here.
Oh, absolutely. Call Trauma. They would do it in a heartbeat. Okay, I was getting ready to make one point about a video with clowns, but now I'm going to get into a different topic because I feel this is a little bit more important. I'm not judging in any way, of course, because I understand there's different fandoms, there's different likes, there's different dislikes. I do not understand the purposefully bad horror movies, the B, C, D horror movies, and why people love them so much.
Because they're amazing, dude.
But go on. Like, what do you mean? Like, amazing in what way?
You ever, pass a car wreck that's so bad and disturbing you can't look away?
Well, I mean, that's kind of dark, but...
It's kind of dark, but you've been there, right?
No, honestly, not with a car wreck. I've never seen anything. But, I mean, we've all witnessed things in life where it's like, morbid curiosity, I guess.
That's a B horror movie.
Okay.
The acting is so bad that you have to sit there and laugh and giggle. The special effects are so bad you have to sit there and laugh. It's more of a comedy to me than an actual horror movie.
Okay. And then here is a genuine question as well for you. And I understand again.
No, I'm not watching pro wrestlers versus zombies ever
No,
again.
that's not what I mean. Why do people love Terrifier so much? What is the appeal?
If you take Terrifier, right, and you take it out of the current age and you throw it back in the late 70s, early 80s with slashers, he would have been the king.
It's because it's a callback.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. It's back to the shock gore factor of what started the horror movie slasher genre.
Okay. What's that horror movie from back in the, what was it, the 70s or 80s that really was killing animals or something? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't remember this one.
But you know what I'm talking about though, right? There was a
Yeah.
movie that got in a lot of trouble for that. It was something, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Horror has never been something, and I'm always fascinated by things that I'm not a fan of because I want to, I love to hear people talk about things that they're passionate about, even if I'm not passionate about it. So
because it gives you a different aspect and a view that you may not notice yourself. And you're not just a complete dickhead that thinks your opinion is the only one that matters.
Exactly. And so here's my question then. Because I feel like, and I'm maybe overgeneralizing here. I'm probably overgeneralizing. But let's just say, for example, that most of the fans of Terrifier, let's just stick with Terrifier because it's the big one,
Okay.
are the contrarian fans of where they want to be kind of hipster about it, but it's whatever. So take that aspect of it out. And if you were to, I mean, obviously it was top grossing or whatever, but if you put that in the pantheon of like these 5-star fucking movies, like, does it actually hold a candle to them? Like,
It does not.
so then why do people treat it like it does?
It's kind of like music. There's different genres with different fan bases and different subcultures inside those. And horror right now, yes, Terrifier is the king right now. Art the Clown's killing every fucking thing they put out. But you got to understand that we haven't had a good slasher film in so long, man. Like, the last box office slasher hit was what, Freddy versus Jason?
Was that even a hit though?
That was a hit.
See, I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, that was a hit back in the day. But like slasher films, like have retorted to just the B-level horror movies because no one's taking them serious. It's all repetitive stories. Oh, ugly camper gets hurt, starts killing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's almost like how people shit on Hallmark Christmas movies.
Kind of, yeah. But you know what? Those Hallmark fans that love those Christmas movies and can't wait every year for the next 90 to drop, they're there in full fucking collars and their flags waving every December 1st for those Hallmark movies, man.
Because I saw a TikTok of where someone was at a holiday festival, like a holiday market rather. It was like, you know, Christmas trees and like Christmas vendors and all this other stuff. And they said somewhere in this crowd, a woman's about to leave her 7-figure salary job to date a man who sells Christmas trees year round.
Yes.
And it's just like what, like the nonsense of it. But
my mom used to love those Hallmark Christmas movies.
My mom still does love those Christmas movies, Hallmark Christmas movies. Like, I'll walk into the house and she'll be watching them, and I'm like, Mom, what are you doing?
What's your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
That's a good question. I don't. The easy one to say is Christmas Vacation, but I don't think it is really. I think that it's just one that I enjoy. I don't necessarily know if I have a favorite. I really like the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, but I don't know if I like it enough to call it my favorite.
That's hard for me as well because like holiday movies are so repetitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like there's only so many subplots you can have with Santa Claus. But I will say I'm a fan of the Krampus movie, and that's one of my all-time favorites to watch during the Christmas season. The original from 2015.
Yeah. And because I don't know. I mean, I don't think that I can really pick. I mean, gun to my head, I mean, the best one's probably going to be Christmas Vacation. I mean, that's just how it's going to be. Because I mean, it's just a fucking classic. I mean, you know, we made a whole fucking parody of it last year. And, you know,
I wouldn't call it a parody. I would say a tribute.
It was a tribute. Yeah. I would say it was a tribute. Yeah, I don't know, but I know like those schlocky Hallmark movies where it's like, we discovered the meaning of Christmas.
All right. Hard-hitting question right here.
Oh, no.
What's worse? Hallmark Christmas movies or WWE Films Christmas movies?
It's scary that there's actually more than one for you to categorize it. Because what do we got? We got that fucking one with Paige and Miz.
Yes.
There's another couple.
There's a couple of them with Miz, I think.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Are there multiple? No, I think you might be thinking of the Marine, because the Miz has been in like 12 Marine movies.
I'm pretty sure there's multiple Christmas ones as well.
Fucking look this up.
This is the episode brought to you in part by Google.
Yeah.
Because Ask Jeeves is no longer around.
Let me look here. When is it? WWE Films. WWE Studios is what it was. Yeah. Filmography. Okay, I'm not counting Scorpion King Rundown and all that.
Scorpion King's not a Christmas movie.
Well, I'm not looking at just Christmas movies. I'm just looking. Christmas Bounty, which is with the Miz.
Yes.
And there is two. Santa's Little Helper with Miz, Paige, and Maurice.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, I like to think that because traditionally.
Ain't that Dolph Ziggler one kind of Christmassy too?
Oh, I know the one you're talking about, and I honestly I cannot tell you if it is or not because
And
I've not.
Knucklehead?
Yeah, no, Knucklehead was Big Show, wasn't it?
Yeah, but wasn't that set during Christmas time as well?
Maybe. I don't know. I've never seen these movies. I'm going to go ahead and say WWE movies, though, because typically when you put wrestlers in those situations, they're just not up to snuff.
Except for See No Evil.
Except for See No Evil. I'll give it
You
to
got to go back to the horror slasher right there.
horror slasher. Is that a genre that you feel like is coming back because of Art the Clown? Or
I think it's trying to, but I don't think people are creative enough to make their own stories. If that makes sense.
It's almost as if we know people that run a film company.
Mm-hmm.
And we could try to make something like that happen because we have a couple horror-themed characters that we would be able to work with.
I wonder what in the world could we do with this idea?
I don't know. Maybe someone that's mad, someone that collects faces, and someone that's a fucking local legend. Yeah, so that's kind of, we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent, but because I did have a goal, and we're still going to hit it. And my plan was to do this idea for the back half of this podcast because I think
if anyone listened to the last podcast, they know we're off the rails anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tamatonga over here. Yeah. Shh.
That's a good segue point right there, brother.
But, well, we're going to segue into what the thing is. So it's funny. We're talking about movies, which kind of ties into storytelling. And that's going to tie into our biggest topic that we are going to talk about in the back half of this podcast. So look forward to that. But there's a couple of things I wanted to touch on before we actually get into that. I want to give a shout out to Colbston Jackson. Colby Jack. I'm assuming that's his full name. Colbston Jackson.
If not, it's sticking now.
Because I'm going to tell you this right now. There were a lot of doubters. There were a lot of doubters that were like, Colby Jack? You're really going to put, Colby Jack's really going to be your champion?
We all heard it.
Yeah, Colby Jack is our champion. And guess what? He's had his first title defense, and it was fucking awesome. I know you weren't there to be able to see it, but Colby Jack and Gorgeous Morgan Taylor had a match at Hybrid Championship Wrestling TakeOver 3, which shout out to them for putting the match on. It was a last-minute thrown-together match, so Colby...
Which says a lot that these guys went out there and killed it last minute.
Yeah, because I think what it was, Morgan had an opponent that was scheduled, had to cancel. Colby just so happened to be there because he was going to hang out at the merch table and
promote the brand.
Exactly. And the promoters come up and they're like, does Colby have his gear? And I'm like, Colby's always got his gear. And they're like, do you think he would want to wrestle a match? I'm like, that's a question for him. And it was like, well, as the guy that runs MadBash Wrestling, you cool with putting the belt on the line? And I was like, yeah. So Colby and Morgan went out there. They had a really good match. Colby Jack, I think it's definitive that we can make this statement. Colby Jack is the heart and soul of MadBash Wrestling.
Absolutely.
He is the ultimate underdog. He is just...
I see what you did there.
I think Brian Parker came up with that. The ultimate underdog. I don't remember. He came up with something, Colby Jack. I don't remember what it was. But, Colby went out there with Gorgeous Morgan Taylor, and they had a really good match. And that's saying something because that was just a banger of a card. So I'm going to take a minute to say thank you to Hybrid Championship Wrestling for allowing me to be on commentary for that whole show, because what a show. What a show. And there is something else that involves this show that's going to be tied into the greater topic that I want to talk about. And you'll see that here in just a few minutes. But yeah, it was a really good time. Wish you could have been there. Scheduling issues, you couldn't have been there. And it was a lot of fun. I got to give a shout out to our friends over at the Diner Podcast. They welcomed me into the commentary booth.
Dine and Bash, baby.
Dine and Bash, brother. Shout out to Uncle Lump and Red Velvet. Hell of a guy. Hell of a guys. What would be the plural of hell of a guy? Hell of a guys. Helvs guys, something. Cool guys. They're really cool. Really cool guys.
Two dudes with attitude.
Love them. Love them. And we just had a really good time over there. Jeremy Hamilton, the ring announcer, it was his birthday that day. So we all got to celebrate Jeremy's birthday with him. Germ's birthday, we got to celebrate that with him.
Shout out to him for using his birthday even to come through and work.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean?
The best in the Midwest right there, baby.
He is. I'm going to just definitively make a statement right now. And I don't care because I know that it's subjective. But I really do believe, and a lot of people believe, that Jeremy Hamilton is the best ring announcer in the Midwest.
Hands down.
And if you're not using him, what is wrong with you?
Probably because he's booked every damn weekend, every damn show.
I was a pretty good ring announcer back in the day.
You did all right.
I'm not going to, I know what you're doing, but I was a good ring announcer. And
you know Jeremy, though, damn it.
Jeremy has transcended further than I think Jeremy's a better ring announcer than I ever was.
His passion for it, man.
It's just his passion in general. He's another one. He really wants to come on here.
We need him on here.
He wants to come on here and talk music. He's a big music fan. And I told him, like, look, when we have the chance, we'll absolutely have him on. I like any of the brothers. Like, he's auxiliary MadBash, kind of, I feel like. Like, I don't think we've officially made it, but I mean, he's a part of the group. You know what I mean?
Guys.
Yeah.
No graphic needed.
No, not at all. And it's just the way that he understands a crowd and how to get that, like, to grab that crowd. And I even have complimented him on this before. When I first heard him ring announce, I didn't really like him because I felt that he was a little bit too much. But then you realize when I saw him ring announce, it was like one of the early times that he'd ever ring announced.
Mm-hmm.
So to see him,
the progression as quickly as he has, and to come into what he has done now, kudos to that guy. Kudos to that guy. He's, and we said it, he's the best ring announcer in the Midwest. And I think ring announcing is actually harder than it looks. Yeah.
Because you got to understand how to get the reaction and not make it about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen it countless times. I was guilty of it. And then I realized I was like, oh, that's not how you're supposed to do this. But I think that's something that's really lacking.
He really sets the tone, man. Like, that's the way he pronounces people's names, and he's given their story just through their introductions. And that's giving the crowd whether who to cheer, who to boo.
Yeah.
He's setting the stage for everybody.
Yeah. And, that trademark, are you prepared for the pandemonium? I'm wearing the bracelet.
Yeah, me too, brother.
I'm wearing the bracelet on my arm right now, the pandemonium bracelet. He is... There was a point I was going to make about him, and I don't remember what it was, but it was just going to be singing his praises again. He's solid. Listen, if you are running a wrestling company, running wrestling shows, and you are not using him as your ring announcer, you absolutely should. He has the MadBash seal of approval, whatever that's worth, which I like to think people kind of carry our opinion pretty highly.
They should after these years, man.
Yeah, shout out to Germ. He's one of the good ones. He's definitely one of the good ones. And I'm going to tell you this too right now. He is also one of the most genuinely nice guys I've ever met. Like, he's
super
just
sweet.
Super,
I can't believe we almost killed him.
How'd we almost kill him?
The gummy bear.
Oh, the gummy bear challenge. I forgot about that. Where can they see that, Michael Madrox?
Patreon.com, brother.
Oh, yeah. Did I upload that? Yeah, I did.
You did.
I did. I couldn't remember. So long ago. Which really wasn't even that long ago. That was this year.
Yeah.
That we did that.
That was this summer.
That was this summer. My God. Who was I just talking to? Was it Gaston? Who was I talking to? It was about how... Oh, no. I did mention it to Gaston, but the conversation started with Hunter Holdcraft from The Hype, we were talking about how like time is so weird in wrestling because it just seems like it goes like so quickly. And I was like, I'm 12 years in. And I was like, and I feel like I blinked and I was all of a sudden here. And, you know, that goes with life or whatever. But I think with wrestling specifically, time is something that we focus a lot on because of like how many years you got in the business, brother, or, you know, shit like that. But time is just so weird because, like you just mentioned, that was this summer. That does not feel like this summer. That feels like 7 years ago.
Back to the clowns, man. I thought it was 2020.
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, I mean, but also you just don't have a concept of time.
I'm in my own little time frame.
You really are. You really are. And I mean, like you look back, you could have told me Ascend the Throne was 3 years ago and I would believe you. Or you could tell me that, like, and here's what's really got me thinking about this a lot too. The day that we're recording this, which is the 3rd of December, this is 2 years ago when we made the announcement we were coming back.
Is it really?
This is when we dropped the video.
Damn.
I saw it on my Facebook memories. And that is wowzers.
That's crazy.
That's one that I'd never forget.
You notice no matter what we do, we always end up together on some sort of anniversary recording a podcast.
That's just how it is, you know what I mean? We're destined to do this forever, I feel like. But yeah, just talking about time and everything and like how weird it is. And, you know, we're going into 2025. And that seems like such an unobtainable year for some reason. And I don't know why, but it does.
You know what scares me?
Huh?
2025's 20 years in this damn business.
For you?
Yeah.
Shit. Damn. It'll be 13 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, 20 years. What month?
August, I believe.
August? Okay, yeah. Wow. Another thing with time is that Ace Perry and I started about a month apart.
Really?
I think I've got 1 month on Ace Perry because he and I were talking about that because I asked him, I was like, Ace, how long you been doing it? And he was like, oh, I started. And I was like, really?
That's like when Sage Phillips brought up to me. He's like, I used to record your matches all the time for you. I was like, wait, what?
That's how I met Sage Phillips, is that he would film matches. Yeah, he would come to New Wave and film matches. Ooh, did I just say that? Oh, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. It's going to be a fun paid show. Speaking of paid show, that is over on the Patreon. And here's the thing, that's what pays the bills, but there's other things that pay the bills, and that's our lovely, lovely sponsors, and we are going to hear from them right now. This episode is brought to you by Elite Pro Wrestling. We all love live entertainment, right? We all love live wrestling, right? Well, what if I told you that there is a place that combines the entertainment and the wrestling live that we all love? Look no further than Elite Pro Wrestling. Whether it's in person in Odin, Indiana, or Washington, Indiana, or if you check them out on YouTube, Elite Pro Wrestling guarantees a quality show that allows them to live up to the name Elite. If you're feeling generous, go ahead and check them out on Patreon as well. If you back them, you're going to get early access to all of their shows before they hit YouTube. Again, check out EliteProfessionalWrestling.com. This episode is brought to you by Venom Energy. Hey, we've all been there, and there's nothing wrong with admitting to it. Well, what I mean is that we've all hit that midday slump, and we all need a little push to get us through the rest of the day. Well, what better option to give you a pick-me-up than one of the wonderful flavors of Venom Energy? Venom is what gets MadBash through those long show days, and we know that it can do the same for you. I'm going to sweeten the pot a little bit for you, too. Yeah, come to our merch table when you see us at a show, and with the purchase of a MadBash Wrestling sticker or magnet, you get a Venom Energy drink on us. While supplies last, of course, so you better act quick. We'd like to thank Venom again for sponsoring this episode. Please consume responsibly. Not recommended for children under 18, pregnant or nursing women, or people sensitive to caffeine. I am a sucker for a good story. I'm a man that loves to spin a yarn, and I'm a man that loves to see a yarn being spun. I think storytelling is one of the most important things, not just in wrestling, but in life in general. And specifically when you look at art, because pro wrestling is art, you can compare pro wrestling to any major other form of art.
Absolutely.
And I'm burying the lead a little bit here by saying this, but WrestleMania 40 was our end game. The years of storytelling.
The portal's open, baby.
The portal's opened and everyone stepped through. But the only person that didn't step through was, I had to take care of Banjo. Couldn't make. Stone Cold couldn't be there. The fact that Stone Cold wasn't part of that, really, that upset me a little bit.
But
it was cool to see Taker, but
at the same time, though, other than The Rock, what did Austin have in that whole storyline?
It would have been him coming to get one up on The Rock.
I know, but at the same time, we already watched that story end.
But did we, though?
Austin's last match with The Rock, man. Come on now.
Man, that might need to be an untitled wrestling commentary because I love that match. Because we've been
long one, brother.
That's not that long of a match. We've been watching a lot of like weird shit matches.
We should throw something good out.
We need to throw something good out there. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. The next untitled wrestling commentary is going to be, we should do
WLC.
No, we should just do the trilogy of matches.
Hell yeah.
Because that's one of the best trilogies in the history of wrestling. We'll start with their 15, go on to 17, and then go on to 19.
Fuck yeah.
That'll be some good ones. We'll probably break them up over, like, not doing bang, bang, bang. But yeah, look out for next Friday. We'll do WrestleMania 15. And I forgot my vest. Had to walk out in a stupid T-shirt. But so, simply put, wrestling is Shakespeare. And what I mean by that is in the zeitgeist of, like, storytelling, everyone defaults to William Shakespeare and like how his plays are so great. Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, shit like that.
It's so tragic.
There's tragedy, honestly. Yeah. And there's plenty of tragedy in all of this because it's like, look at comedy, for example. Comedy, tragedy plus time equals comedy.
Yep.
And
you can't have that triumph without the tragedy.
You have to have the tragedy. And that's what I'm saying here is, of course, we are an independent wrestling podcast. So we are going to talk about some triumph and tragedy in independent wrestling on our level. And I am going to get a look from you when I say this.
Uh-oh.
But I am here to tell you, and this is not me saying this just because he's my best friend, that the rise of Dalton Davis is one of the most underrated, subtle stories that has been told in Midwest independent wrestling.
It could be a movie.
It could. So we're also going to touch on the fact, because we'll talk about professional wrestling as well. Look at the storytelling. This is what's important here. I'm not talking about overall storytelling because I need to kind of back up a little bit here. I'm talking about subtle storytelling. The subtle shit that you see.
Like an A24 movie, you got to pay attention to every little fucking scene.
Absolutely. Look at the subtle storytelling of War Games. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Just the little shit. The bloodline comes out together. The OG bloodline comes out separate. CM Punk pushing the cage and causing all the trouble of like, oh, CM Punk's the loose cannon. He's going to cause this to be a problem. This is going to be an issue. The door opens up. Punk goes to walk out. Roman blocks him. Gives the little head nod to Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn goes out. Remember when that happened the first time?
Yep.
War Games 22, was it? Whenever it was, it was
22.
War Games 22. Whenever Kevin Owens was in there getting beat up or whatever, and Roman Reigns said, "No, we're going to send Sami in there."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Prove yourself, kid.
Exactly. And then him delivering the haluva kick to Owens and just standing there looking all heartbroken because this is his best friend. And he did this because he loves. But then where did it go? It went into the chair shot to the back that shook Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' entire character arc is built around a steel chair to the back.
Yeah.
It all started with Rollins hitting him in the back
And
with a
it's
chair.
still continuing on Monday Night Raw.
Still. The et tu Bruti of Roman Reigns, you too, Brutus, is the chair in the back.
Yeah.
So much so that he hated Seth Rollins so much that he attacked Seth Rollins instead of Cody Rhodes.
He wanted to exact his revenge for that chair shot in the back. He risked it all to finally get that revenge.
Yes. Yes. So now you look at War Games. Solo Sikoa has come in. He's become the tribal chief. He's leading his
You
bloodline. I acknowledge my OTC. Then you just look at how it then played out. Roman goes to walk out of the cage. Punk shoves past him. Roman, okay. There's subtle storytelling to this one because when Roman Reigns was the tribal chief, the true tribal chief, no one would have disrespected him like that.
No.
And that was the subtle thing of Roman doesn't have as much power as he used to.
And like Sam Roberts pointed out, like Punk was gone during Roman's tirade.
Yep.
Like he has nothing to hold against a grudge Roman Reigns other than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Try to make Roman look strong. So like everything played out so perfect. And like we were talking about the backgrounds, the subtle storytelling shit, like Paul Heyman showing up dressed like Solo Sikoa. Like,
yep.
That threw a red flag in the army. Like, oh, Paul Heyman's going to turn and this is going to be the outcome of the cage match. Like Sami Zayn just automatically getting accepted. Oh, he still hates Roman for all the torture he put through him and Jay. Like, there's so many like butterfly ripple effects that can go from the storyline to keep it going. This has been the longest story WWE has ever fucking done continuously.
Yeah, that hasn't been just kind of pushed to the side and they keep coming back to it.
Yes.
No, this has been consistent.
Weekly.
The longest running weekly episodic story
since 2020.
Yeah, it started in 2020, didn't it?
I mean, that's when the bloodline started, but when you go back and look at it, it really started years ago with the Shields.
It all started with the Shield turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whenever Seth Rollins turned on
Roman.
Seth Rollins turned on Roman. Yeah, I forgot Roman's name there for a minute. And then you look at the shot, the cinematography that WWE has been using lately. Roman on one end, Punk on the other, Paul Heyman on the outside of the cage, pleading with them, just stick together, guys, stick together.
Let's get through this war.
That's what he said. And then they realized, okay. Now, here's my question. Then we're going to kind of pivot a little bit here. What is the favor that what do you think the favor is that Punk wants from Heyman?
A main event WrestleMania match.
That's the prevailing theory that I've heard out of a lot of people.
It's so obvious. to not be that.
Yeah. Do you think that it's going to be a thing of where he causes Heyman to turn on Roman, or what do you think's going to happen?
I don't see Punk turning heel anytime soon.
Okay.
I don't see that at all. Wishful thinking. What if that favor is CM Punk going, you know what? I'm sick of Seth. I'm sick of Drew. They're always in my business. Hey, Paul, bring me Brock Lesnar.
Oh. Damn, I never thought of that.
See, that's what the mark of me would like to see.
Yeah, but it realistically...
It won't happen, but could you imagine Punk and Lesnar versus Rollins and McIntyre at Mania?
Ooh. That would be a weird match, but it would be awesome.
It would be a big clash because you got the two big powerhouses and then you got the technical guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's money right there, sir.
That would be a fun match.
Mm-hmm.
That would be. That would
and
be
it could
good.
go either way.
Yeah.
And everything is going to be believable.
Damn. Michael Madrox just threw down a fucking prediction. Holy shit. Speaking of predictions.
I made a prediction once.
You made a prediction that competition, we're in a soft reboot lately of Spot Show. So like any through lines have been kind of forgotten. We're on to new things. You made a prediction that Dalton Davis this year was going to win a major singles championship.
And boy, did he.
And you were right. You were absolutely right. And surprisingly, it wasn't the MadBash title, because we're not just going to put the belt on our fucking friends like people would probably think that we would do. It was the hybrid title. Dalton Davis is your new hybrid championship wrestling
completely out of the blue
heavyweight champion. And I said it at the top of this. If you look at the story and the subtle, organic storytelling that took place with Dalton Davis, you will understand why I was in tears calling that moment when he won that title.
You got to bring it back a lot further than that, man. You got to bring it back to the little 8-year-old kid who we almost killed at a CWF show.
I don't know who's we. You got a mouse in your pocket? It was you that almost killed him.
I did not. I caught my guy. Shout out KJ for knowing how to die properly. But you got to go further back than that. You got to go to the little kid who was told he would never do physical sports.
Yeah.
He could never do anything because his immune system was too weak. You got to go. Dalton has taken every challenge.
Or taken.
Yeah, taken. Every challenge and crumbled it along his path. Like, he just broke his fucking leg, man. And came back quicker than anticipated. And came back and won the hybrid championship in his first match back.
Yeah. And you also have to look at where he did it. He did it in West Terre Haute, a building that he never got to work in until Hybrid Championship Wrestling.
The building where he came to his first independent wrestling show in.
He won his first major singles championship in that building. And look at who he did it against. MadBash boy Clayton Clark.
Yeah.
And this is where the subtle storytelling of this ties in. Because I was in that building. Clayton Clark pulls down the hybrid title. Everything could be simpatico. Everything could be good. Let's leave, Clyde. Let's just get out. You don't need, you can celebrate. Those lights go down, and then the return music starts playing. And Clayton stayed in the ring. But I think in the back of his mind, he knew that it was Dalton Davis, so he was like, I'm going to give it to this motherfucker because of his hatred of Dalton Davis. If he would have just left, things would have been fine for him. But it's not even the matter of that's just the overconfidence for him in that aspect.
Especially after going through a war with Ace Perry.
Especially after taking a spike to the head, after taking thumbtacks, after being slammed off, on, inside, outside ladders. Went to war. One of the best Clayton Clark matches I've ever seen, by the way. And I've been I've been present for a lot of Clayton Clark matches. I've only known him a couple of years, but the last 2 years, let's just say chances are if Clayton was wrestling, I was most likely there. Same can be said for Dalton Davis.
And this is also a Clayton Clark match. We're not used to seeing Clayton Clark compete like that.
Which you say that, but 2 weeks before he won another ladder match. But you mean like hardcore Clydesdale.
Yeah.
The hardcore troubadour he was calling himself. But that's the thing, is that you don't expect Clayton Clark to be put through that punishment or give that level of punishment. Like it was rough. So then Dalton Davis cashes in and he wins a major singles title. And you have to look at the story here, because let's just call it like it is. He should have won a major singles title a long time ago for another company, but it never happened.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So Dalton Davis proving the doubters wrong.
But here's the thing, though. He could have won a singles title in that other company, but I feel like that other company would just done it and downplayed everything about that victory.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So, like, I know Dalton's been deserving all these years, but I think now is the time.
I don't know about that. I think you're wrong.
You think I'm wrong?
I don't think he's been deserving all these years. And that's a little bit of a controversial statement to make. I would say if you look back on the last probably, I would say the majority of his career, I would agree with you. But I think there have been ebbs and flows of where I could look at him and go, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it. He's in a fucking peak right now where
what you said right then is so fucking true. He doesn't need it. He deserves it.
Deserves it, yeah. And, you look at, he started this year off hot. Like, he came in hot. He was firing on all cylinders. He was doing really well. And then his ankle shatters. And he's got to have metal rods surgically implanted in his ankle just so he can walk.
Yeah.
And, you look at when that happened, you want to talk about time. That happened in fucking August. I'm pretty sure. Was that August that happened?
It was before July, I believe.
No, it could have been. I'll look back here, but go on while I look for a time frame for this.
Because we did fireworks and stuff in July, and he was in the cast.
I'll tell you exactly when it was. July 1st. Yep, it happened July 1st.
That's what I remember, because he didn't come to the 4th of July celebration.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He couldn't make it for the 4th of July. That is correct. Actually, no, that's a lie. It happened in June. It happened June 23rd is when he broke his ankle. So he still yet wasn't able to make it for the 4th of July. But, I mean, that's half the year. That's half the year that he had been out. And, I was in the trenches with him through a lot of that because, he was sitting back and he was just starting to feel good about wrestling again, because it's no secret that he was wanting to leave. And he's back now. And he's feeling better about it. And then that happened. And it was just a kick in the dick.
That's exactly what it was for him. He worked so hard to get his motivation and his mind right back in this business, and he finally did it, and he was actually enjoying himself and having fun, and then life just bitch slapped him upside the head.
Yeah. Life's a bitch, man.
They say me, brother.
They say it, life's a bitch, and that's case in point. I mean, for a lot of people. And, to be there for that moment, it was crazy, because I knew that I was witnessing something because here's another thing too, and he's going to kill me for saying this. Dalton Davis is probably the biggest mark for a return that I have ever met. He is a mark for the weirdest shit in wrestling. He loves when a wrestler returns from injury. And now he's finally getting to return from injury. And he was like, it's weird, man. It's just, you know, it is what it is. And he is going to kill me for saying this too, probably. He stressed himself out so much over what outfit he should wear.
I'm telling you now, he missed an opportunity not wearing the leather vest with the denim vest over or leather jacket with the denim vest over
He
top.
almost did.
Yeah, I know.
He almost did. He also almost did the Shawn Michaels return, which he is obsessed with. Whenever he came back against Randy Orton, yeah, and he had on the padded vest and the cowboy hat. But yeah, so that's the storytelling: is that you look at this kid who was told never. Then he became a referee, and then he became a wrestler, and then he had so many other moments, and he was just a good hand. But deep down in the back of your mind, you know he fucking deserves it. He's going to get it one day. Should have gotten it a lot sooner. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
I can't wait to see where he goes from here, though.
I was going to say that. How excited are you to see Little Brother's title reign? Like,
You say little brother, but like Parker's been like my kid. Like ever since the day I met him, I had to go make amends with him after the show and bring him to the locker room. I was the guy that let him get in the ring and get his first bump. Like, I love that kid to death. He's been a part of my life for so many years now. And like just seeing him with a singles championship, like I got that proud dad moment over the whole brother moment, because like I've seen this kid go from a snot-nosed little fat kid getting out of breath, clapping his hands in the front row,
to a snot-nosed fat adult getting
getting out of breath, chugging a six-pack in my living room.
yeah. No, we're of course, man. Dalton, you're not a fat. You're not fat. You're
You skinny fat ass.
You're Dalton is the definition of skinny fat. Skinny fat fit is a good way to put it. I would consider Dalton fat fit. But yeah, that's like, I'm always gonna, like, you were a little bit closer with him longer, because I've only been like close with him since we've been back.
Yeah.
So it's just a brother thing for me, and I can't say my son, but it was still a feel-good moment. It was still a really, really feel-good moment. And it was cool that it happened in that building.
Mm-hmm. Full circle, man.
A lot of history in that building.
Full fucking circle.
And there's not many full circle moments in wrestling that feel incredibly paid off.
No.
And it feels good to have one happen to someone that you care so much about. It really does. But that's like we're talking about, you know, the Shakespeare of it all. You talked about the tragedy, like the tragedy of Dalton Davis and the triumph of Dalton Davis, much like we've seen the tragedy of the Bloodline and the triumph.
The self-destruction of the Dalton Davis.
Yeah. MadBash Studios has a documentary made in case Dalton goes haywire called The Self-Destruction of Dalton Davis, and we're just going to bury him for fucking an hour and a half or whatever it is. Just like how WWE apparently had a Self-Destruction of Bret Hart DVD made.
Did they really?
You never heard that?
No.
Yeah. So they released the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD. And apparently there were, there were two versions of it. One where they actually like praise Warrior, and one where they just straight up shit on him.
Mm-hmm.
The one where they straight up shit on him is the one that came out. And, that was the big thing, is that there was a Bret Hart DVD that came out, and it was like, whatever, I don't remember, but there were two versions made. And it was going to be just like the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior.
I want to see more movies like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Just a 2-hour good shoot session.
Oh, there's plenty. There's plenty of them out there. You just got to know where you're looking. But, like, that's the pettiness of the WWE. If it's like, oh, goddamn, pal, we're going to bury the motherfucker. But, yeah, the Self-Destruction of Dalton Davis. Yeah, we've got documentaries made for all of the guys, depending on how they, depending on what happened. You know what I mean?
We got our shit covered.
Yeah, we've got like, I made the joke one time. I was like, I've already got the mission state, or not the mission statement, the either
PR nightmare.
I've already got the press release written for good and the press release written for bad. If something, I just got to plug in who it is and how I feel and all this other stuff. But no, that's a joke, of course. I don't think anything like that would ever happen, but
Colby Jack, on the other hand,
Yeah, Colby Jack worries me. I think that Colby Jack's going to be a real problem.
he's gonna moo at the wrong person one day.
Moo. Fucking Colby Jack. I love him to death, man. I love them all. But yeah, that's going to do it for this podcast. Hell of a journey we went on here, bruv.
Brother, can I just chime in on one more story that I think's really good right now?
Oh yeah, please.
A New Day, brother.
Oh, the New Day story. Yes, I wanted to touch on that. Yeah, I kind of forgot.
I mean, making Biggie cry in the middle of the ring, like, that's some hill shit right there. Proud of them boys.
You're going to shut down because you don't give a fuck about this. But someone is trying to make the comparison that Kofi Kingston is essentially going to be Majin Vegeta, because during the segment he had on a Majin amulet, the Majin logo from Dragon Ball, and they're saying that like that's the sign right there of he's going to be Majin Vegeta. And then also Kofi and Woods had the Goku and Goku Black gear that they wore in the ring. So, okay, I don't want to fucking see that, because you were sitting here talking about fandoms that you like, and I didn't fucking roll my eyes.
I can't do anything because I don't know what any of this shit means.
Think I know what the fuck Art the Clown is? What the
You should.
No, well, you should. Oh, you're an elitist with your shit, dude. That's just all it is.
I'll show you Art the Clown movie, and then we'll watch a Dragon Ball movie.
But see, I can't just show you a Dragon Ball movie.
Oh, you can't?
Because there's like, you got to watch like all 900 episodes or
Oh my
whatever to
God.
like fully understand the story. You want to talk about the story? Let's talk about Goku. As a kid, he was sent to this planet to destroy it, but he falls, hits his head, forgets he's an evil Saiyan, right? He gets found by Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan raises him, but one night, a mysterious monster kills Grandpa Gohan. Who could it be? You'll figure it out. Then one day, Goku meets Bulma. Bulma's looking for the Dragon Balls. Goku's got the 4-star Dragon Ball. I was going to keep going until you stopped me, by the way.
I was just going to let you keep going. I figured that'd be just a good outro, just fading out while you're going through the history of Dragon Ball.
No, dude, the lore of Dragon Ball is long and storied. And that's the thing, is that in the U.S., we got Dragon Ball after Dragon Ball Z. So there was a lot of context missed. That you really miss a lot of context if you don't watch Dragon Ball, because you don't get to see good character development like from certain people.
So Dragon Ball's like their NXT.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's their developmental system. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and get off here and get on Paid Show. Hate to be that guy, but yeah, it's gonna be a good Paid Show. It's gonna be a fun one.
Where can they find you at, Dickie Wabash?
You can find me on my couch looking at Pokemon cards. That's another thing we're going to get into on Paid Show, my new obsession. Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at DW_mischievous_rabbit. You can find Michael Madrox at the word 1 and then the numbers 900-909-9900. We are going to be rolling into Paid Show here soon. You can hear that directly. This is one that you're going to want to listen to, just like you want to listen to everything, because you never know. You never know what is going to be talked about. You never do. So, we're going to go ahead and go into Paid Show right now. We're going to thank you for listening. Thank you for the support. Thank you for all of that. And we'll see you down the road on some form of content.